Welcome to the Loyal Opposition Podcast, episode number 9. I'm Berney Flowers, one of Uncle Sam's wayward children. I believe that our country's best days are still in front of us, but if those best days are still to come, we need to change the direction of the country now before it's too late. I intend to talk about important issues every week in hopes of helping to improve our country and our way of life. Let's get started. With all the crazy things happening in America right now, I thought that I might remind my fellow culture warriors that we are actually having an impact on society and that we should keep doing what we're doing. For example, Bud Light. In case you didn't know, Bud Light maker Anheuser-Busch has lost over $27 billion in market value since they started with their Dylan Mulvaney marketing campaign. May was the third worst month on record for that company's shares. Still not having learned their lesson, Bud Light said it will donate $200,000 to an LGBTQ plus nonprofit to continue supporting economic opportunities and advancement for LGBTQ plus Americans and business owners across the country, according to a press release. Target has lost $10 billion in market valuation over the past week or so as they continue to face backlash over their pride-themed clothing for young children. Target is experiencing its lowest stock price in nearly 3 years. And the Walt Disney Corporation has lost nearly $63 billion in market since it decided to embrace its woke agenda. For the past 12 months, Disney has seen its stock drop more than 30%, making it the worst performing stock on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Disney supports woke far-left politics, specifically the exposure of young children to its radical LGBTQ ideology. And in doing so, the entertainment giant has alienated millions of its customers and picked a fight with Florida's governor. Why are corporations catering to the LGBT crowd, although that group represents only about 7% of the American population, according to Gallup's generous estimate? Why have Hollywood and corporations produced products that most of their customers and stockholders don't want? For example, Indiana Jones, the new one coming out, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, that is, The Witcher, The Little Mermaid, She-Hulk, Cleopatra, Cuties? BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, and other companies like them take your pension money and your 401k money and make loans to other companies. They add restrictions to those loans, restrictions that you probably wouldn't agree with. Companies are then forced to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in their output by featuring characters chosen for their physical characteristics and social outlook instead of their ability to act or to entertain you. That's why all of a sudden we have all these race-swapped and gender-swapped characters in our movies and in our culture. BlackRock and the 1% are changing our cultural narrative. And that is why you can no longer trust Disney as a source of entertainment for your children. They are rewriting history, and you, through your pension funds and retirement accounts, are letting them do it. Klaus Schwab, founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, advocates for stakeholder capitalism, the notion that a firm focuses on meeting the needs of all of its stakeholders. That means customers, employees, partners of the community, society as a whole. Stakeholder capitalism is everywhere. Stakeholder capitalism is nothing more than an elaborate ruse designed by big business to hide the dirt that they have done. And in the meantime, big business will go on doing what it's always done, making money for itself. Firms can go on privately shoveling money to their stakeholders and executives while maintaining a public front of egalitarianism and social responsibility. In the meantime, minorities are fooled into thinking that big business is supporting them. Well, that support is only temporary. ESG, in its many forms, is only an elaborate trick to allow big business to get rich and rich and richer. If you don't believe me, look at the deterioration of the American big cities and the American culture. Has wokeism made things better for you and your family? How about Baltimore, Chicago, New York, Detroit, Los Angeles? If big business cared about America, there would be a whole lot less misery in our cities. Traditionalists have been busy working, while leftists have been busy using DEI and other tools to dissolve our traditional values. The public doesn't support the negative things happening in our American society right now. The border crisis, high energy prices, out of control urban crime, a depressed economy, high interest rates, a politicized FBI, CIA, Justice Department, and Pentagon. All this is a result of the woke agenda. This is all a public, private, corporate, Marxist, fascist fantasy designed to transfer wealth from the proletariat to the 1%. And we are suckers if we allow them to do it. But things aren't all bad. I ask, whatever it is that you're doing out there, boycotting Bud Light, Target, Disney, and the rest of the DEI crowd, or monitoring your government for accountability, keep it up. It's working. A great man once said, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. From what I can see, the few, the 1%, are hiding their wealth and privilege behind all this corporate stakeholder capitalism, wokeness, and neo-Marxism. The many are starting to wake up and see that they have been wronged. They are not happy. Numbers of unhappy people are growing daily. I'm going to do everything in my power to let everyone know what's been happening and to change the direction of this wave of stupidity that America has been enduring over the past few years. Well, I ranted enough for today. This has been the Loyal Opposition Podcast, produced in association with Liberty Arise Media and other podcasters. I ask that you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast and to this channel. Be sure to get your copy of my new book, Black Values Matter, available on Amazon or as an ebook on Audible and Apple Books. And remember, it's okay to disagree, but if we want our country to prosper, we must insist on unity, transparency, and civility from ourselves and our fellow citizens. Thanks for listening to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. See you next week.